Hey, Paul from Akiwatu here. Today we're going to be talking about the Tim Patterson IF-15. That's right, it's the world champ Italo Ferreira surfboards from Timmy Patterson. Don't forget, of course, as always, do subscribe to our channel down here. Get all the Akiwatu videos as they drop. Okay, what's the IF-15 from Timmy Patterson? It's all about the curves. Just have a look at that sumptuous outline on this thing. Really nice looking outline for a high performance board from a top CT surfer. A relatively pretty curvy outline. And that's something specifically worked out for Italo. And the way he surfs, doing those big rotations, those big airs, quite often landing with his front foot up cheetah fiving, really far forward on the board. He doesn't want to land and sink. He wants to land with speed and carry on surfing. So a little bit fuller up there in the nose for a high performance board from a CT surfer. A more generous outline with some volume, particularly a bit of width up there in the nose for the IF-15. It's the first thing really to say about this board in terms of the overall outline. Generally speaking, it's just really nicely well proportioned. You can see those curves pretty sweet throughout. Now, Tim Patterson himself says one of the things he's been quite surprised about this board is its utility for everyday surfers. So one of the things to come out of the IF-15 is just how well it suits a whole range of different surfers. Okay, let's have a look at that outline just in terms of the rocker. Pretty medium throughout, definitely sort of a moderate rocker. There is the entry rocker where it's been kicked up a touch. It isn't actually from the extremity of the nose. It's about a foot back. And that has the effect of kind of hiding the rocker a little bit. It makes it look a little bit flatter than it really is. So there is plenty of that kind of performance nose lift in there, but it's a little bit hidden. Overall, the curves are pretty medium in terms of that rocker, that overall outline. Same thing in the tail, bit of lift through there, but nothing particularly extreme. Just gonna flip her over and we'll have a look at this kind of flatter section throughout the middle of the board. Now, anyone that's watched the way Italo surfs has seen how easily he picks up speed. And the IF-15 was designed with that in mind. And that's this section here. It's got quite a bit of flat section throughout the middle of the board, through the belly of the board. And that's just for Italo to grab speed and to absolutely fly on this thing. Now it's time to check out what's going on underneath in terms of our bottom contours. And for that, I've got a highly technologically advanced piece of equipment. It's called a bit of wood. Let's have a look and see what's going on in terms of the concaves in this board. Okay, so starting less than a foot really from the nose, we've got the single concave. It's not massively deep, but it's definitely there. So a nice single running all the way through the IF-15. And that's just going to continue all the way back through there. So single concave throughout here. A preference from Italo, running all the way through the board. And that's just going to help create that lift. And most important ingredient of all for a CT surfer, for a world champion, for a surfer like Italo, is of course speed. So single concave throughout, and that in combination with the outline, the rocker, just generating a board that will absolutely fly. In terms of the rails, it's pretty medium. This particular one is a 6-1. It's coming in about 31 litres. Obviously, you can get this tailored to your exact dimension literage, but this one, there's a bit of meat there. There's a bit of meat on the bones. It's a medium rail throughout. Nothing particularly extreme. It foils down pretty nicely towards the nose in terms of that rail shape. All right, let's have a look at that tail again. And that nice kind of squash. It does also kind of a rounded squash as well. So a couple of options there in the tail, but a really nice outline through there. And again, there's nothing really in terms of corners. Everything flows together really well. Just a really nice outline throughout this thing. The curves are all pretty continual and just offering you exceptional maneuverability. Might not necessarily be able to surf quite like Italo, but you can certainly benefit from the technology that Italo's using. And that's the IF-15 from Patterson Surfboards. Thruster setup on this one, and just offering you that classic thruster feel in all sorts of conditions. Italo will ride this from waist-ish high to pretty well overhead, and I'd say it's a pretty versatile board. Maybe, yeah, overhead, maybe just a bit over. Yeah, you've got a reliable thruster feel and a really, really maneuverable, impressive surfboard from Tim Patterson. All right, it's going to wrap things up for the IF15 from Patterson Surfboards, because Tim Patterson, shaper out of San Clemente, Southern California, but due to the marvels of modern technology, available across the world. So you can benefit from an incredible shaper and an incredible surfer. Their feedback have combined to make a wicked surfboard, the IF15. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed the review. Don't forget, of course, do subscribe to our channel. Get these videos as they drop, and we'll see you next time.